It is story time, as it is every time this week on a Monday morning, and Jessica Robinson is with us. Hey, Jessica, thanks for being here.
Hi, I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
So, Jessica, how did you get involved in the storytelling? Was it a lifelong thing, or did you just wake up one day and said, all right, I'm tired of what I've been doing. I'm going to try something else. Tell us that story.
Well, I have been writing since I was a kid. I've always liked it. And then when I was in my 20s, I got invited to a storytelling show in D.C., and they had an open mic, and I told a story on stage, and I didn't bomb. So, I got addicted.
Not bombing. That's the first rule. That's like the first rule of radio. Don't mess up. That's what they tell you. What do you want me to do? Just don't mess up and go from there. Now, Jessica, where is home for you?
I am in Fairfax, Virginia.
Oh, okay. So you can be in the nation's capital and not much of a turnaround, just right there. And so a 2023 Oracle Award winner from the National Storytelling Network. You began performing, I guess, officially, about 2007?
Yes, that's right, yeah.
And Jessica's been all over the place, the Story District, Tales from the Village, the Grapevine, Perfect Liars Club, GMU. Is that George Mason? Is that what that is?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
Fall for the Book Festival, the Susquehanna Folk Festival Liars Contest. How'd you do in the Liars Contest, Jessica?
I didn't win, so apparently I'm not the best liar, but it was hosted by Bill Lepp, so it was a lot of fun to be there.
I was going to say, Bill's a ton of fun. Yeah, we love Bill. And Stories from the Stage and the Stone Soup Storytelling Festival. So, Jessica, when you find yourself kind of in the spotlight behind the microphone, and it is indeed story time, what group is the easiest to share stories with? Is it grown-ups? Is it seniors? Is it kids? Where do you have the most fun?
Oh, I have the most fun with little kids. So the 3 to 5 year olds, they're adorable, and they seem to like me. So, but I tell more often to adults, and they're also adorable.
They can. We have our moments as grown-ups, but kids really, they are easily a part of the all-in. No matter how extravagant or how wondrous or how outlandish the journey may be, kids will tag along for the ride, no questions asked.
Yes, yeah.
And sometimes you have to convince adult that it's okay to remember how to imagine. It's almost like Peter Pan syndrome. You have to remember what it's like to have a happy thought, don't you?
Yeah, and I never tried telling to kids until I had kids of my own, and then I realized they like stories. So It worked out well.
Yeah. It's one of our favorite games around the dinner table at our house. The other members of the family will give you a person, a place, and an object, and you have to make up a story on site. And that's a game that we play, and it serves them well. I think part of the appeal, Jessica, of storytelling, I want to know your thoughts on this, is that every story, it's kind of like every song, every movie, every dance. It has a beginning, a middle, and an ending, and there's something satisfying about when you complete that journey, isn't there?
Yeah, in fact, I teach storytelling, and that's the first rule of storytelling. It has to have a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Sure. Otherwise, you just kind of leave us out there, and that can be an uncomfortable place to be. So finish the story. And, this is nothing, Jessica. Every story is not happy or funny, is it?
No, a lot of them are a little bit of both.
Yeah, and sometimes we kind of hesitate.
Funny and sad.
Right. Yeah. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to fall short, particularly when you're sharing the story. It's okay to express your disappointment and your disillusionment. Doesn't mean that you're hating on the world. It's just that life does not perpetually have a red bow on top of it. So, Jessica, you tell all kinds of stories, right? Folk tales, fairy tales, and everything in between?
I do. I also tell personal stories, and those definitely don't always have a happy ending.
No, not always. So, Jessica, as we do every week when we have story time, Christian and I are going to be quiet and get out of the way, and we ask our storyteller to share a story uninterrupted with our Triad Today listeners. So, Jessica, Christian and I are going to be quiet, and the microphone, my friend, is yours.
Thank you. This is a folktale from Africa. A long time ago, when the earth was new, the sky was close to the earth. It was so close, in fact, that you could just reach up and touch it, and you could eat it. That's right. People didn't need to sow the seeds or harvest crops or hunt for food whenever they got hungry. They just had to reach up and break off a little bit of sky, and there was dinner. But as often happens when you don't have to work for something, well, the people began to take the sky's gifts for granted. They began to take more than they needed and to waste the sky's gifts. And the sky grew angry, and she called out, "People of earth, you have taken me for granted. If you continue to do so, I will leave and go so far away you can never take from me again." And the people listened, and they promised that they would no longer take her gifts for granted, that they would no longer take more than they needed. And it was an easy promise to keep for some. But as the night of the great feast arrived, there was tables laden with all different flavors of sky, and the people ate and ate and ate their full. And yet there was one among them who was never happy to have taken as much as he could. He wanted more, and when everyone else had gone home, he sat out under the stars looking up at the sky and thinking, "I want more." And so he did. He reached up and he broke off a little more sky, and it was delicious. It was like that first pretzel out of the bag. It was salty and sweet, and he just needed more, and he kept taking bigger and bigger chunks of sky until he had broken off a huge chunk of sky. And it was just at that moment that he realized he couldn't possibly eat another bite. And then he remembered the promise, and he was scared. So he went from home to home, waking up all of his neighbors, saying, "Please help, we have to eat this sky, we can't let it go to waste." And everyone did their best, but they were all so full from the feast that when everyone had had a little bit more, there was still much sky to be wasted. And the sky saw, and she was angry, and she called out, "People of earth, you have taken from me for the last time." And with that, she left. She lifted herself up high above the mountain, so far away that no person could ever take from her again. And the people fell to the ground, and their tears fell to the earth, and they called out, "How will we live?" And the earth answered. She said, "I will provide for you. But you must remember the lessons you've learned today. You must never take more than you need. You must never let my gifts be wasted. And as long as you care for me, I will care for you." And the people were happy, and they promised. And it was an easy promise to keep for some.
That's powerful. That's really powerful. Brava. Well done, Jessica Robinson on Storytime, everybody. And Jessica, before we have to part ways this morning, I want you to take just a moment and tell us about Better Said Than Done, if you will.
Better Said Than Done is my organization, or I founded it, I guess it's kind of mine. And it is a Northern Virginia-based storytelling group. We have monthly shows in Falls Church, Virginia, and then we also have virtual shows. And we recently finished our 5th annual Women's Storytelling Festival, which you can still get tickets to watch all 16 hours. It has 21 women storytellers performing, including Megan Hicks and Ann Rutherford and Sheila Arnold. So it's our annual festival.
That's great. And folks, you can learn more about Better Said Than Done at www.bettersaidthandone.com. If you're looking for a storyteller to come to a workshop or speak at your corporate event as well, you may want to reach out with the folks at Better Said Done and see what you can dream up together. Jessica, where will you be telling stories next? What's on the horizon?
My next public show is on May 16th. I'm doing braided stories online. So it's going to be me and Tim Araneta and a bunch of other fantastic storytellers. So I'm looking forward to that. Oh,
it sounds like a lot of fun, and congratulations on the 2023 Oracle Award from our friends at National Storytelling Network. And Jessica, I don't think I'd have to twist your arm much. You would join in. We encourage everybody, if you have the chance, to go to the National Storytelling Festival in Jonesboro, Tennessee, right?
Yeah, I was on Exchange Place there in 2018, and it was the time of my life.
Yeah, really fun times. And folks, I have said it so many times. I kind of went by accident. I was teaching school, and so where we were talking about storytelling was such a part of what we did in my classroom, and I got a grant from a local organization and the Winston-Salem Foundation, and they sent me to the National Storytelling Festival, and I didn't really know what to expect, and it is a magical journey. You would agree?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I was also there for the 50th anniversary a year or two ago, and it was, once again, an incredible show. Yeah,
just folks, it's the best storytellers in the world, all in, 4 city blocks right there. So hope you get a chance to go and connect with Jessica and the myriad of talented storytellers so prevalent not only across the southern United States, but from sea to shining sea. Jessica, we appreciate the visit, my friend. Let's talk again soon. Hope you have a spectacular week.
You too. Thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely. What a great story. I love that. Jessica Robinson, bettersaidthandone.com.